Hi, spur of the moment video. I wasn't planning to video this week, but here I am, and my kitchen's a mess, and I am in my usual, not fashionable self, but that's okay. Anyway, tired of doing all meat meals. My husband wants meat all the time, so I am going to be using chorizo sausage. But what I'm doing right now is I'm cooking the rice first, and I, especially the brown white rice, soak it and then cook it like pasta. I have a cup of rice per 6 cups of water. Usually I'll do a double batch and so I can freeze it, but I'm just doing, cup of rice. So, and I have some chicken stock that was in the freezer. I have in some hot water to defrost. And I'm doing something with chorizo sausage, chickpeas that I cooked, cooked a while ago and were in the freezer. And I'm going to use some tomato. I wish I had some bell pepper. I don't, but onion will be involved and whatever else. I'm just kind of making a meal and see what happens. So I thought I'd document for fun and whatever and be off the cuff. Well, all my stuff usually is, but oh well. I'll be back. Quick disclaimer. I rinsed the rice. I didn't soak it. I read that it's a more traditional way of cooking rice is to rinse it off a whole bunch and then cook it in a lot of water rather than cook the water out of it. So that's what I've been doing, and you don't have to worry about it getting stuck to the bottom. It just cooks. It cooks a little more quickly and whatever. The only thing, well, I guess I could cook it in flavored stock, but I don't know. I just do it this way. So, and usually I do a double batch and put some in the freezer, but I'm just doing enough for the next couple meals or so for now. Okay, I'll be back for more cooking of the actual recipe. There. So I'm trying out my other camera to do some recording so I don't have to move that camera. So this is the simmer that I keep the rice at until it's cooked. The timer just went off, so I'm going to check it after 20 minutes. And, well, actually, I can do that. Here. You done? You're not done. I'm going to go for another 10 minutes, 30 minutes. And then I'll check it again. But I just wanted to try out this technique. See if, and here's the chicken broth melting, and here's my very dirty stove. But, hey, that's life. Okay, I'll be back. So this is a little hot pepper. I forget what they're called. I got them from Flat's Mentor last year and had them in the freezer. They're very cute little peppers. They're pretty hot. I forget how hot, so I just wanted some pepper flavor in this, so I'm going to use just one. And maybe I'll wish I used more, but it's defrosting right now. You can see the frost, but it will defrost. I'm going to cut it and take most of the membrane off, which is the hottest part. But I just wanted the flavor of some kind of pepper in this dish that I'm making. So there you go. Oh, I love having this extra camera. Cool. Okay, well, here I am, and I'm remembering to turn the fan off, but the light back on. Okay, so I've been cooking onion and chorizo sausage for, I don't know, 10 minutes, low. Smells good. Okay, I'm going to blast, I'll do it here for now. My bigger burner. I'm going to, is it on? It's on. Blast a little bit more. I'm going to add these hot peppers, which I hope aren't too hot. We'll see what happens. Hot peppers. And like I said, those were frozen in my freezer from Flat's Mentor Farm back when James and Fong were our farmers and their mom. I welcome our new Flat's Mentor farmers at the Lakewood Farmers Market, but I miss the family that was with us for years. And this is Kusa squash, chunked up, and very thinly sliced turnip. And I'm also going to be adding turnip greens to this mess. So I'm just going to, that needs to cook down. My new trick when you need to cut things smaller than you meant to is just use scissors while they're cooking. Works really well. Little Wendy's tip. But, that too. Okay. So we're going to let this cook a little bit. And then I'll add the tomato sauce. And I also have pre-cooked chickpeas that I, home cooked here myself. And corn kernels. I think that will be a good thing to add. And we'll be serving it over rice. So here's where we are so far. And then I'm going to stop because my videos have been too long, so I'll be back. Okay, so I just turned up again. Here we have this is chorizo sausage, first onion, chorizo sausage, and then pusa squash, and then thinly sliced turnip. And now we're going to add everything else. What should we add next? I think we're going to do, now this is a bunch of turnip greens that from the turnips that I used. So I'm going to stick these in. And cook them a little bit down. There's still a little bit of oil here. If it looks dry, well, maybe it's a little dry. I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil. Oh, that's my toaster oven where I'm keeping the rice warm. So turn that on. Okay, just add a little bit more olive oil. And stir this down a little bit. I want to cook the greens in this so it gets the flavor from the onions and the chorizo into the greens. Kind of nice. And once they're cooked down a little bit, I'll keep adding things. Well, I don't want to wait too long. I don't want to spend too long videoing. So here's what I'm going to do. Chickpeas. A bunch of them because I want to spread out so we're not eating just meat for this. And this is some corn that was in my freezer from probably Farmer Dave or Kelly's Farm last year. Empty the freezer night. The chickpeas were empty the freezer night thing too, as was the lone chorizo sausage. I usually use those, and that's from Lilac Hedge Farm. I usually use those make chili, but I had extra one. So this is that. Basil, a bunch of basil, but you could do any seasoning if you wanted to make it more like the smoked paprika or something like that, or, you know, I don't know if rosemary would work, but what else would work? Well, whatever, I'm using basil. And the final thing I'm adding is, well, I'm going to do it in a bit. I'm going to let this do its thing, and then I'm going to add the tomato sauce and let it simmer for a bit down and see how it is. Rather than bore you with watching me do that, I will stop videoing for a moment. Well, a couple moments. Maybe 10 minutes. We'll see. Okay, so I just added that cup of homemade chicken stock and a 14.5 ounce thing of diced tomatoes. If I had fresh tomatoes, I would have used that, but I don't. I use them all up. They're so good, I eat them all. The fresh ones from the Farmer Dave and Kelly's and all that. But, I don't care. It's so good. Okay, so I think I'm just going to let this cook down. And, actually, let me see what the flavors are. Get an idea of how spicy it is or not. Double dipping, but it's just for my husband and me. So, yeah. Oh, it's not that spicy. I should have added another pepper. Now I know next time. I say I could do 3 of them. You know those little hot pepper things? That's good. This over rice, I think is going to be lovely. But it's going to need more seasoning. But I'm going to just let it simmer and sit and then figure out what I'm going to do with it. Yum. Well, just look at it. Is that how hot? Look at that. Oops. Oh, turn that down before you put your hand over it. It's all local stuff too. Turnip and zucchini and not zucchini, pusa. It's all local stuff except for canned tomatoes. Because even the chicken stock was made from Lilac Hedge or Copacabana Farm chicken. I'm a lucky person that I have access to farmers that have wonderful stuff. But anyway, I'm going to put it on the back burner and let it simmer for a bit. And I'll be back for the final, whatever I'm going to finish it off like. Okay. I'll be back. Okay, well, it's getting late. So, here's what I'm going to do. This looks lovely. It tastes lovely. I might add a little more hot sauce, but what I do want to do is make it a little thicker. So I'm going to cheat and use some, where'd it go? Here it is. A little cornstarch. It's like this much and that much equal water. I'm going to stick it in here just to give it a little thickness to it. And I'm probably going to add some sriracha or Frank's hot sauce just to add a little bite. Or maybe not. I've already added salt and pepper. And it's basically seasoned to taste, but, oh, there we go. So we're going to just serve this over rice. Here, take a little look. Remember, use a pot holder. So here we go. A real fun kind of, it's just a bunch of leftovers and fresh veggies and leftovers from the freezer. And, you know, just throw stuff together. Use your imagination and you end up with good food. So it's gonna thicken up a little bit because of the cornstarch, and we're gonna have it over rice. And hopefully I'll remember to take a picture of it plated, but maybe I won't because I'm still just doing this off the cuff. I am not a professional. Although someday I would love to be not a professional, but, you know, have a bunch of people watch my videos and go to my cooking blog, culinaryq.com. But it's going to be a while because I have work to do. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. It's fun. It's just cook. Just have fun. Throw stuff together. Go on the internet and get ideas of what things meld together well and go from there. Because you know what? Just use good, healthy ingredients to start with, and you'll have good food. Good night. Or good morning. I don't know what time it is when you're watching.